So my name's Whitney. I am a recovering drug addict. Growing up, I never thought, no one ever thinks that you're gonna need to go to rehab. I never thought that I would need to go somewhere for 30 days in order to not use drugs. I grew up just partying, and I thought everyone partied. I thought everyone started drinking at the age of 12. It was more acceptable in my household since alcoholism runs in my family, so it's just always around. I really started about the problem though with opiates as a teenager, and then once my dad died, it became like an everyday thing by the age of 21. I always told myself that I could stop at any time. I'm using them for legit back pain. Most of the time it was prescribed. It always felt like I had control, even when at the end of the day I knew I didn't have control over it. I went to nursing school. I used the entire time from nursing school. So my life was manageable enough to where I had no reason to stop. I worked in the ICU right out of school, and I saw a lot of things in the ICU that still haunt me. But there was one on December 29th of 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago now, where one of my best friends came into the ICU with an overdose. At that point, I was just using pills. Didn't make the switch over, but that was the first night that I switched to needles, and that my life became unmanageable, really, really unmanageable. From that point on, I didn't care that I was getting sloppy. I didn't care that it was affecting my work. I, at that point, completely lost myself to drugs. At first, I didn't care that I was most likely going to die from an overdose. And then right before I came to Tully, I wanted to die from an overdose. I would wake up every morning angry at God that I was alive. I remember the last night of my use very vividly. I got in some trouble at work because it was very obvious that I was using at this point. And I called my mom from work, actually walking out of the hospital, and told her that I need help. No one in my life knew. I never used with people. I didn't have any friends at that point because they couldn't insist me getting high, so I didn't want to deal with them. And that's where drugs brought me. That's where it brings a lot of people. But Tully helped change that for me. I walked through the doors of Tully Hill not being able to look people in the eyes. I couldn't even look my family in the eyes, but I couldn't look, even the people doing the intake here, I couldn't look them in the eyes. I just had so much shame about the things I've done and what I let myself become. I felt so terrified, because getting high was all I knew for the longest time. And I didn't think I was worth recovery. And that's something that I try really hard to this day. When I talk to people who are new in recovery or who are still, out there suffering, and something that I really try to instill them that they're worth recovery and that there's hope. There is hope. Because a feeling of hopelessness is the worst feeling I've ever felt. Until you've been there, I don't think you can really know that feeling. No one wants to be crying sitting near a toilet with blood dripping down their arm. Like, no one wants to get to that level, but there is a way out. But Tully helped me work through all of that and never made me feel like a failure for the things I'd done. As soon as I walked in the doors, I just felt, as terrified as I was, I just felt relief. Like, the gig's over, it's okay, I can now focus on myself and recovering. I think Tully's a special place because a lot of the people here are in recovery. They've been through it. It's not just people in a suit and tie. It's not people in a suit and tie just BSing you who went to school and now are trying to shove these things down your throat. They've lived it. They know what it takes to stay sober and are willing to help you do that. So I learned not just how to stay away from substances, how to handle the things that would make me usually want to go use. So like how to handle my emotions, how to handle interacting with people on a day-to-day basis, because I didn't even know how to do that. I didn't even know how to not awkwardly like run into someone at the store, or how to have an encounter with a family member and not have it all of a sudden become this big attack or feel like I was the victim all the time. I think something that really helped me in my recovery now is being able to like go out to 12-step meetings at Tully, and just, it was so recovery based, and they had people come in and do meetings here that I started to feel comfortable and see people who were in recovery and to see that you could function without the use of drugs and still have a good life. I wanted to come talk today to give someone hope. You know, it's hope's a powerful thing, especially if you feel like you don't have any. And Tully was such a healing place for me. It was the first time that I actually stripped away the layers, like let down my walls and let people help me. And that was huge for me.